Hello everyone, welcome to ExamReadyRadiology's another video. And today I am making this short video to introduce you all to the idea behind this channel and about to discuss my journey and what motivated me and how I took 9 exams in 3 years and what whole this difficult and tiring journey of 3 years taught me. So I took 9 exams in last 3 years from around end of 2022 till end of 2025, and I passed 7 of those and failed 2. And these failures actually taught me more than any of the successes in my whole life has ever taught me. So this little story is about showing up even when life is not in your favor and being resilient. So it started with rejection when I started looking for my radiology trainings after my FCPS part one, and it took me around 2 years to land this training job. And it's very interesting that when I took the residency exam for the training that was being held at locally at the institute level where I currently am, I was actually on my fourth postpartum day, and I didn't want to go for the test. My family pushed me, and I was really angry with them that why are you forcing me to go? They're not going to hire me because I was already fed up with the around 4-6 rejections that I already had faced. But I did attempt and fortunate enough that I got called for the interview where I was at 13th day of my postpartum period. So after all the discussion that normally happens in the interview, they asked me that why should we hire you? And the only answer that I could give them was that I just left my 13-day-old baby to be here, to be in this interview. And I don't know what else can show my motivation or my uh, goal of being in training. So there were other things as well. So I got the training position, but the difficulties didn't end here. Rather, it just started. So I got in training in July 22, and in a few months, there was a huge noise about FRCR coming to Pakistan. And in October, the seats for the first ever FRCR exam being conducted in Pakistan in Feb 2023 were being released. My family had been always been very supportive, and they had this crazy idea that I can attempt this with only few months radiology experience. And I was very skeptical about it that I can't, but as they dictated, I did. And first of all, I studied how this exam is conducted, where and how many components are there, the fee structure, the exam pattern, and everything. And the rush to book the seat was very high because I actually booked lab before starting this training. And I was actually pursuing the lab and GMC pathway when I wasn't getting a training post. And even after getting into the training, I decided not to quit that lab journey. So I knew what it takes to book a seat for any UK based exam. It's like a matter of seconds. So same happened, and I was fortunate enough to land a seat. And now I started to prepare. I had around 4 to 5 months. I think 4 were max. And then the only resources that I could find to help me guide about how to prepare were YouTube, Google, and some Facebook posts. So whatever I found, I started practicing, and I watched many YouTube videos. YouTube was my main source of learning, with some books that I discussed in my anatomy tutorial video. And my baby and I, who was just 4 months old at that time, used to watch radiological anatomy videos together. And I was fortunate enough that I passed that exam. At that time, I started to think that, okay, maybe I can pursue FRCR with FCPS and it's doable. So let's just do it. And as soon as I finished this anatomy, I already have an exam booked, which was actually booked before this training journey. And I had Lab 1 in August. Now I started to prepare for that, and that was also passed. And in during this time, I booked a FRCR physics seat for March 2024. So as soon as I got free from lab, I started preparing for FRCR physics. And again, I had no live person, no person in front of me who I can look upon that, okay, that person did this is in this way with training and motherhood and every managing house, etc. So I had no one. I just consulted YouTube and Facebook and Reddit and Google and searched resources and tried to study. At later stage of my preparation, I did find someone, but there wasn't very clear guidance. So it was like almost nothing. So I actually didn't know the high yield resources, which I still regret, but that wasn't my fault actually. So that's the whole thing which I'm coming up to at the end of this video. So I failed that exam by very few marks, and that actually broke me. And I thought maybe I couldn't do it. By the way, this was my first ever failure in life, so that was really devastating. And what else could go wrong? That I had my flight for PLAB 2 right 1 week after this result. And that situation was very difficult because I had to go alone without my family. And that guilt of not giving enough to your family, wasting money, wasting energy, wasting resources was just so high. But I did went to UK, took my PLAB, did 1 month observership there, and I was fortunate that I passed PLAB without any hurdles. But again, I had a lot of mentoring, a lot of guidance about PLAB. I joined an academy there, I practiced, and I knew the pattern and everything by live persons, and they guided me on every step. So this was a key difference. Then I already did book another FRCR physics as at the same day when I received my result when I failed, and that was in September. So I came back and straight away started studying and took physics again in September and cleared that. Afterwards, I started preparing for IMM and 2A. Well, I used to think that maybe I attempted FRCR 2A a bit immaturely, but when I look back now, I believe that again there was lack of guidance. So, as far as you know, for IMM, there are still many guidelines available by our seniors. We know the books, we know CPSP patterns, though they are changing with time. And I tried to study in a way that I can build my foundation and then start practicing on that. But what actually was missing that in like we know in IMM that these resources are high yield. There was no proper guidance that what is high yield for FRCR2A. And I actually missed key resources. And I failed by only few marks. But if I had paid attention to the high yield resources, if I had someone to guide me, like very in a very detailed way, then I wouldn't have missed the high yield resources and I wouldn't have failed. Then these were like very back-to-back exams. Feb IMM written, March IMM talks, and April FRCR 2A. I passed IMM in first attempt, but I failed 2A. Then I restarted preparing for 2A, and I did everything available for this exam. I did do some high cost and very high cost resources, UK based mocks and everything, but they were actually very good, and they helped me in a lot of ways. So now when I look back, I do regret wasting money and wasting time and energy. But to on the brighter side, this actually helped me a lot in understanding radiology in various aspects, and it strengthened my grip on radiological knowledge too. So there are pros and cons for everything. So the main problem that I found uh, through this tiring journey is that I wasn't lacking effort. I was lacking the right guidance. I was putting my all of my energy and hard work in the wrong direction, or maybe I wasn't prioritizing the things that needed prioritization. So the whole concept of this exam ready radiology is this: that I really want everyone going through the journey that I went through to be very clear about what to read, when to read, and how to read. So that's my whole point. As I already told you, that hard work is never enough. Direction is everything. You need direction, you need guidance. And this is an era of smart things. This is an era of smart study. This is an era of smart struggles. So we need to prepare smartly for any exam that we're preparing in. Lastly, people see results, they don't see what it costs. So sometimes it's just that it's maybe that the person is incompetent, maybe that's why he isn't passing, or maybe it's not important for them, so they're not paying attention to the exam, etc., etc. No, it's not. We know what it takes: the emotional exhaustion, the physical burnout, the family guilt, that mother guilt. I personally have felt, and I know very well how it feels and what it takes. So Don't be apologetic about your journeys, about your goals, and being career oriented, but just try to be focused and try to find proper guidance and mentorship. And I am here. I am trying to build this platform solely with the purpose of preaching as much as guidance and motivation I can, so that no one has to go through the journey that I once felt was breaking me. I don't want anyone to feel broken with this radiology and its exams stress. It's not. It's really interesting field, and I actually enjoy radiology, and I know most of you do. So just try to have a better direction and clearer paths. And lastly, do not compare your timeline with anyone. And I am not at all encouraging you to take 9 exams in 3 years. That was my journey. I had my own personal reasons. But whatever exam you are taking, even if it's one in whole 4 years, like we do, I mean, that's still a big thing. You just have to put in all of your effort in the best possible way. And I am here to help as much as I can with resources, with timelines, with strategies that actually work, and everything that I can be helpful about. And right guidance can change everything. That's the whole point of this video as well as this platform. So share it with anyone who might be needing some dose of motivation or some guidance about any radiology related or any other exam. So stay tuned and do follow, and do let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to make a video about any particular exam. Till then, take care. Bye bye.